Hey,
What's up?
how are you?
How are you? I'm
I'm
good.
good. I'm so happy to have you on here. I've been wanting you on here for a long time, and we finally found the time to get you on here. But how's
Yes.
everything going with you? It's been a crazy week.
Man, we made it to Friday.
Yes.
I'm just thankful. I think we deserve to celebrate either way.
Yes. Either way, it's a celebration. And of
Yes.
course, here at the Millennial Discussion, we're celebrating not just life and people, but amazing millennials doing great things all over the world, in the community, and that is you. All right? TrapBob. All right. Yes. So you said everything's been going great with you. How's this year? How's this year been treating you so far? I know it's been crazy, but a lot of blessings been happening your way too. So how's your year been going so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird balance of good and bad. And I mean, for me personally, like I'm always prepared for the worst as a freelancer. Yes. Things like this really, I think of happening anytime. So I'm always looking at months ahead. So luckily, like, I was prepared in a way, and my work is adaptive. I do a lot of digital stuff. So I wasn't like as worried about getting work. But you just gotta be thankful. I've just been thankful. It's been busy. It's been great. I can't complain.
I mean, that's good. See, and I love to hear, with all the negative things that be going on, there's always positive things, and there's always a great outcome and everything, too. So I love to hear people actually, speak about the positive things that are going on, because it's so easy to talk about the negative. But I want to get started with you. I want to say I met you, I think it was earlier this year, when the world was open for everybody.
Yes.
The world was open.
Those days.
The Bridget Kelly concert, and I was hosting with DJ Damo.
Yes.
And I think I met you all. She said, well,
yes.
I was going to leave. I was like, I don't know nobody here. She's like, well, I can introduce you to some of my friends. They're cool people. I'm like, okay.
She's the best. She's the best.
Yes. And I had the pleasure of meeting you and several of your other friends. I was like, yo, these are dope individuals. And I think it was just so cool how like the circle of your friendship was this all different types of creators, Black women creators at that. You had a DJ, yeah. You had hosts, you had a PR, you all did different things. And I feel like that's a beautiful thing to have a circle. But everybody always talking about what your circle look like. But I think it's a beautiful thing to have a circle of grinders and different people from different aspects of entertainment to help each other out. But I want to talk about you. And I just want to say that's the time I met you. And after that, I've been following you and been in awe since. So I want to get into like the beginning. So yeah. When did you start? What influenced your artistic skills? Was that something you always was interested in at a young age?
So my dad is an artist. But it's funny, like I feel like I was raised as an artist without being told, because I'm also Ethiopian. I'm first generation in this country. Yeah. So, it's not like my parents are pushing me to be an artist, even with my dad being an artist. Like he came here and got a scholarship to Parsons. He worked all over LA, Disney, doing art. And, it wasn't as popular as it is now. So it's not as easy to find work. So no one ever was trying to push me towards that. But I always had like an artistic side naturally, I think. And I got to college. I went to UMD and I was studying marketing because business was the only thing that made sense to me at the time. Like I wasn't interested in anything. And then right when I was about to graduate, I just felt like stressed out and I wasn't interested in working for anybody, or I couldn't imagine having a job. And I started drawing just to like relieve stress. And then it was like, I just got hooked and I completely flipped everything and got committed to art. And that was 2014.
Wow.
And literally I just did everything I could to be an artist. I started, I taught myself, Illustrator, painting. I was doing shows, like I think I did 50 shows my first year. I was always out every weekend at every type of event, like doing whatever I could to get my name out there. And I feel blessed that I was able to grow and like my audience got to watch me grow and be consistent. And I have like the most supportive people around me. So, I mean, I couldn't have imagined, where I was going to end up, but I was like, shoot, I'm going.
Exactly. And I got hip to you a little later on, but you know what? I'm sure the people who are like the OG TrapBob fans are probably so excited and I'm proud of, like you said, your growth. But that's amazing how people always say you major in one thing, but sometimes when you graduate, that's not even the thing you even focus on. And like you said, that was your therapy at a young age. And that's a beautiful thing how your father first of all, being a first generation Ethiopian, kudos to that. Now,
Thank
come on,
you.
now you're doing it for the
Thank
Ethiopians
you.
out there. We see y'all.
Yes.
Get it.
Out here, okay.
Yes, y'all are out here. Like no other. Like I know several Ethiopians who are out here doing things with the arts, whether it's painting, whether it's content, whether it's photography. Like I'm like, okay, Ethiopians, don't sleep on
people.
Them. Don't sleep on them, all right? Because they out here doing the thing.
Yes.
But no, that's beautiful. So you said that was like your therapy, and that's
yeah.
That you took about it. So 50 shows a year. That means you really got. It really started moving for you, and that gift actually started coming to fruition really early. Because sometimes after college, we always go through that stigma of like, what's next? I need to get me a job, a full-time job. Especially with UMD business, graduating with UMD business, that means you're already intelligent from the jump.
It was helpful. I mean,
so how
it definitely
your lifestyle now.
Yeah, I mean, like studying marketing, I feel like it has a big part of how I got to where I am, because I got to go into art with that mentality. And it's something that I really enjoy, business and marketing. And I think it's important skills for everybody to have, especially creatives, because you can elevate yourself, you can scale your business. You know, like I went into it looking at it like I'm Google. That's how I thought of it, because I'm learning how all these huge businesses move. So I'm like, well, I'm just starting out, but I'm going to act like I'm like this. And I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to, match up and get to
level
it.
Up.
Yeah. So it really was like a manifestation thing. And like, just being true to yourself. When I was about to graduate and, people asking, what are you going to do? Where are you going to work? I just felt like I was living a lie, like coming up with where I was going to go and work and what I wanted to do or what I was interested in. And I knew I didn't want any of it. So even though it was hard, once I realized that's what I wanted to do, I was like, at least I have direction now. And I know if I commit to it, I'm going to, end up where I want to be. And it's like, for me, art is like a life thing. It's not just a hobby or career. Like I'm in it forever, whether I'm successful or not.
It's your first love. It's what you love to do, actually. And that's how you know it's real. If it's not something you're doing just for recognition, it's something that you're doing like to heal, like it's therapy. And I also just think it's a beautiful thing to have to support a family too, especially for us creatives and those who are entertainment and in the arts. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes our parents, don't see. I was blessed to have parents who understood as well, but a lot of other people out here don't have parents who see the bright future with it. Like art, girl, you want to paint? You need a full-time job. You need benefits. You need this. You're like, Mom, chill. It's gonna work its way. And it worked its way for you, TrapBob. And you know what? I'm gonna get into your art style. What would you describe your artistic style when it comes to like your paintings and murals and everything? How would you describe it?
Definitely very like 2D illustrative. I do really bold lines and flat colors, bright colors. A lot of my style comes from actually Ethiopian Christian art. I'm Ethiopian Orthodox, so we're in church for like 6-7 hours in one, visit. And so I spent a lot of time in church when I was younger, just looking at the artwork. And because like Ethiopia's never been colonized, all the artwork is depicting Black people. And so the style that they would draw in, I just loved it so much. And I felt like it was such a good way to catch someone's attention and speak to them. And that's what I love about art. It's like you can reach anybody. There's no rules. There's no language barrier. You can really get anywhere with it. So after seeing that, I feel like it really got into what I was doing. And I had a point where I was like trying to find my style, which I think a lot of artists go through. And I took a step back and realized that I had a style that was coming out in everything I was trying to do. And when I finally went with that, I feel like I really like found my foundation of my work.
Yeah, it actually spoke for itself, especially where, if we want to go ahead and get into it now, your murals that have been, all over DC. Like after I met you and like we create that bond and, follow you on social media, then after that, I was like, I would walk through, especially, I feel like this year has been a year, but like you said, it's been a blessing for you because you were able to. I watched your interview. I did my research and I saw an interview you did, because you've been recognized with Fox 5 and you were painting the girl power. We see all those around the city. And you were saying a guy told you back in the 60s, all this way of expressing art on different murals and tables and on the Black Lives Matter Plaza, you couldn't be able to express that back then. So explain to us how it is being an artist in today's society, because like he said, when I watched that interview and you explained that, I was like, wow, that is so true. We didn't have the voice. We didn't have all the outlets that we had back then, but we have it now, and we're using it to our advantage, especially as young millennials. So what does it mean to you being an artist in today's society?
It's again like a weird balance of having a voice and a platform, and also like, you know, me just being a Black woman. I've been a Black woman longer than I've been an artist. Yeah. So I'm also very vocal, and I stand up for things I believe in. So naturally, when I started doing art, the activism side got into it, and not even by choice necessarily, but if I'm painting and drawing what I experience, and I'm always trying to relate with my audience, that comes into it. You know, like what I experience is a part of racial justice. It reflects all the issues that we're talking about now. So I think like for somebody else, maybe there's artists that don't want to get political. They don't want to be activists and what have you, but for some, it's not really a choice. And I know beyond just the art that I want to make, it's not just for me, it's for the community. And especially this year with the protests, something that I've been really internalizing is the idea of artists being historians, because the issue we had in the past and why we have so much Black erasure is because we didn't have a form of history taking. So we had only what a white man hired an artist, you know, even like the map itself was Michelangelo. Yeah, you know, Michelangelo got hired to make that, and we believe that. Somebody drew something and that's what we go by. So when you don't have our voice back then, there's no way for us to be represented. So now when I'm doing things, I'm like, this is history. This is what we're going to look back and see. So it's important that it's true and it's coming from the right sources, and that when people look back 100 years later, they're going to know how we felt at the time.
Yeah, just like us realizing this year that Beethoven was Black. All this time, we think Beethoven was a Black guy playing the piano.
And I love Beethoven. Like, I've been listening to Beethoven so long, so that was great news. I was like, I knew it was a reason that I liked it.
I knew it was the reason why. Yep. Like, you was on here feeling it. But I'm speaking about music. What music drives your artistic style? Like, what do you listen to get your creative juices flowing? Like, what type of artist? You said Beethoven, but any other type of music you listen to?
I really have a hard time listening to anything too lyrical while I work. I can't pay attention. So I really, like, if I'm working, I'll listen to classical music, honestly. Like, that's something that is simple enough that I don't have to pay attention, but it's motivating too. Like, I feel like if you put on some classical music, like, you have a soundtrack to your life, like black and white movies, you know, being able to tell a story. It's its own art. Like, you telling a story from notes and sounds versus speaking it out. So it's another way to interpret it. I feel like it helps me think differently and stay inspired. But music in general, even, you know, I can't listen to while I'm working, but it's a huge inspiration. Especially Gucci Mane, obviously, is my, like, yes,
I saw your recent post. You were passing it over. I was like, come on, you better get us a little illustrative vote.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, he's been, like, really was my inspiration, like, even starting off. I mean, I liked him way before I got into art, but when he had dropped Trap God in like 2015, I want to say, it was right when I was really like getting into my art. So that's where my name came from, because I wanted to pay homage, and I'm like, I had Bob like from a childhood nickname, and I was like, this is the perfect, you know, it just kind of came together.
Intertwine it.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, there's no one else I want to pay homage to more. And, you know, just listen to his music, it just motivates me. Like, I feel like I'm trapping every day. Yes. I'm making moves. Like, it really is like a great, it's a great form of inspiration. And I just love trap music. I mean, it's so close to the culture. It's so real, and it just drives you. So that's probably like, that's like my favorite music to listen to.
Okay, so now we know if you see TrapBob over there doing her thing, it's probably Beethoven, or if you see her really bouncing the lines and getting really abstract, that's that trap with Gucci.
That's it. That's it.
You work. I know you would probably love to work with Gucci, but I know artists that you were able to work with. You did a lot of collaborations from like Blue Ribbon Beer, 29 Rooms. Like, you create the steps. We're gonna get to all that, and you work with BET. But we're talking about artists right now. Missy Elliot. Having your art displayed on her recent video, how was that? Like, how did that come about? That was lit. I would say that was lit.
It's crazy, man. When I say like idols, like Missy Elliot, I still can't believe that I got like, I'm still in shock over it. And she came out with her new album, and the music video, like always, was so good. And when I like see something and it sticks with me, that's what I end up illustrating. A lot of times when I'm using references for people, if I see like a scene or a shot, I know, you know, I'm like, I get obsessed. I'm like, I got to draw that so I can move on with my life. Wow. So I saw that scene and like her with the pigtails, I was like, I have to make this. And one of the art directors found it because actually 29 Rooms was going on and they were in Atlanta.
Wow.
And so the art directors went to the exhibit right before they did the video, and then they found my work. And then at the same time they saw the Missy piece, they were like, oh, bet. And yeah, man, like I got to go out to the video shoot and, you know, see her working in action and do like all the behind the scenes stuff. And it was so inspiring and beautiful. And so we got to do 2 videos together. I did some animation on the first one, and then I had my artwork in a gallery.
Sparks. I saw the sparks. I said,
yeah,
I got right there.
My little sparkles.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's crazy that I mean, I can't believe that that's in there. And all the people on her team were just so professional, so good at what they were doing. The videos are crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the best videos I've seen in I don't even know how long. So I was just honored to be there. Yeah.
Sister, I can't stand the pain.
Yeah.
Like, her creative ability, like she set the trend. She's a trendsetter. Yeah. And I mean, I know for you as a trendsetter here in the DMV, to work with an iconic trendsetter, that was like the icing on the cake. But how was it behind the scenes with like her work ethic? How was it see like behind the scenes? Can you give us little details on that?
She's just like in the zone. I mean, like she'll go from like 4 hours of getting hair done and then shoot back-to-back scenes. I mean, we were shooting like till 7 a.m. You know, like we leaving with the sun coming up. It's not no joke. Like they're not playing around.
Like they like
real. Yeah, like I was like, we really about to keep, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, I'm an artist. I be on my own time. So
and you've been in church for like 12 hours, so you were used to it.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm gonna hold on. But you know, just being around all of them, it was like enough to keep me focused and just literally just being there. 'Cause there's a lot of downtime too.
Yeah.
As they were doing scenes, like it was just so inspiring, and everyone's energy was good. Like it wasn't like it was dry in there. You could see even in the videos. Like I remember moments when we were back behind the scenes while they were shooting that scene, and like the energy comes off camera too. So it was crazy.
And that's good, because I know like we all have our works for artists, and sometimes you are like, I hope they're the same in person.
I know, like don't break my heart.
But no, yeah, so even with Missy Elliot, but I want to get more. I want to talk about what you've done, because girl, y'all know her resume goes down the line, all right? I can only talk about a few, because I could talk about it all night, but we're going to get into the key ones. BET, you worked with BET 20s. How did that opportunity come about? That was lit, though.
Yeah, that was great.
With that and how you explained that what you will do right now, I think that was pretty clever. So how was that experience?
Yeah, they just really hit me up, you know, talking about the project. They had one artist here in Chicago and Atlanta, I think. Mm-hmm. And they were just trying to kind of bring light to the show and get like the artist perspective of like, you know, I had to watch the whole thing and then pick a scene that really stuck with me and make my mural about that and shoot the behind the scenes stuff. And it was great because one, like the show is so good. Lena Waithe is amazing. So just to have that already was inspiring. And it was probably one of my first like really public murals, I think, to be in U Street. And it was cool because it wasn't even like just me making art, but it was also about how I felt about the piece and my interpretation of it. And it was great to see the other artists and like what they chose, because you know, it's like you look at something like I saw the scene and I'm like, man, I hope no one else takes this because it's perfect, you know, but everyone ended up doing different things because we just all see things differently. So it was so cool to have that, to be able to shoot with their team and to represent DC. It was great.
And speaking of representing DC, like how did it feel? I mean, I was riding around DC and I saw your art at a bus stop, like literally at the bus stop. Oh,
yes.
How did that, I'm like, you know, it's good to have recognition, and we're going to get into some recognition because you already know who I'm going to get to next. But before we get to that next, how did it feel to have your artwork, you know, well, it's displayed around the whole DMV, and especially the Chocolate City, DC, but bus stop, seeing that your illustrated work on bus stop, how did that feel as a young Black girl seeing that?
I mean, it's really like, I can't even put into words, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love that there's something that exists when I'm not there. That's so important to me to have that representation, and for it to also be work that represents the city and how we feel. And so when you come, there's no question about what we're doing down here, you know? So even in my work, I don't care for using words and text. I really, that's why I like art. You don't need words. But I feel like when it comes to activism and things like that, I want it to be clear, you know, how I feel. Even if you're across the street, you're going to know exactly what's going on. So to see that, you know, existing, and for me, my art is literally like looking in a mirror, like it's a reflection. So to see it out there feels like I'm just outside. Like
I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm like, oh,
it's crazy. I know.
No, that is lit. That is lit. And one thing that you said that really like was like a key thing that gave me goosebumps is like, when you're not here, your artwork will speak for itself. That'll be a memory of you. You know, and I know you have a signature look with the girl with the pink hair. When we see that, like, we know it's you. Like, I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying it because I know you. When I remember I went down to Black Lives Plaza and walking around and saw your mural in the @TrapBob, I was like, oh, yo, I know her. Yo, like, she's real. And then see it at the bus stop, I was like, you might as well dye your hair pink. What you waiting for? I'm surprised you haven't done that yet.
I know. It's damaging, that's why. So I live through the girls, you know, so I let them rock with it.
You like, I'm not gonna mess up these natural, authentic curls.
No, we natural now, so I gotta represent, you know what I'm saying? But I live through the art, so it's great.
Sure, yeah, but that's definitely your signature. But back to recognition, you know when you've been really grinding and putting in the work. When you know, Missy Elliot, BET, Black Lives Matter, 29 Rooms, but when the Queen Bee, when Beyonce, Carter posts you and shows you recognition, you know you're doing the damn thing.
It's crazy.
Let's get some clapping emojis for that real quick. Like, kudos, I want to give it up to that. Because, look, I was on the website and I saw you post, and I saw on her website, I know she was highlighting a lot of African-American artists for Black is King. And I saw Trap. I said, Trap. I said, no way. No way. When I saw that, I was like, yo, now the girl is working. Crazy. And you never know who's watching. That's the thing I tell people, you never know who's watching. So when you
I had no idea.
When you saw that, when it was the Beyonce.com, because there ain't no other websites, that's legit. When you saw that, how did that feel to get recognition from the Queen Bee?
Like, when I say shocked, I didn't believe it. I woke up and somebody had sent me another person who was on it, and my name was next to theirs. Yes. It's like an alphabetical order. So I'm literally looking, and I'm like, why would somebody Photoshop me onto this? Like, yeah, I was like, this not, like, that don't make sense. Because I didn't even know that the list was being updated, you know? Like, it came out, and I saw it, and I was hyped. I was like, this is so beautiful. I'm so glad. Like, there was people on there that I knew, hype about that. And I was like, man, maybe one day, you know, maybe next year I'll make it on there. And then a week later, I saw that, and I went to the website. I checked every way you could to make sure I wasn't tripping. And I still can't believe it. I'm shocked.
You were shocked, and we all were shook. All right, we were shook. I mean, and I mean, I knew it, because I'm like, listen, you've been doing it with a lot of amazing platforms. You've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and using your voice as a woman for a woman activist, and, you know, get a lot of credit for it. But I was like, when I saw that, I was like, about time. I was like, Beyonce, what you waiting for? Now look, we manifested it right now. Soon, TrapBob is gonna be on that set. Beyonce gonna have a new single. Then TrapBob is gonna be in the back. Like,
look, child, if we make it up there, I'm sending you behind the scenes for look.
Come on
over there.
Come on. I'll be like, come on, let's get to work. Because when it's work, it's game time. It's game time.
Yes.
Oh man, but I was so excited for that. And more, we manifested more blessings your way, because when I personally see authentic and original and this natural given talent, I love to show love to it. That's why I wanted you on for the Millennial Discussion and dig deep into everything. I'm like, I need to talk to her. I want to, you know, dig deep and get her experience and know her stories and everything. And one thing I see about you as a creative, I have people on here who have tattoos, but I never ask people to explain their tattoos. So I know you have the Statue of Liberty on your arm. Is it the Statue of Liberty?
So it's actually my my first art show I had in 2016, I want to say, when I was like getting my art together. I was ready to have a show. I didn't know how to get into galleries. I knew I probably couldn't. And I was really on like some, like, I'm just going to make it work my way. And I rented an Airbnb and just threw like an art party. Like I took all the artwork down from their walls and I put my shit up and got a DJ and all that. And it wasn't even like too crazy, you know. It was a party, it was lit, but like I'm not allowed on Airbnb to this day because of that party. But I'm so glad that I did it. It was called Trapathon, and so this was the logo that I made for it.
Oh,
yeah. So I got this.
Tattoos. I'm like, I want to know the story behind each tattoo. So, how many tattoos do you have? The list goes on and on.
It's a lot. I got like over 20. I have a lot of tattoos. Yeah, I love tattoos. I think it's very like my style of art too. I actually have one of my favorite illustrations of mine on here.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, so I didn't get any of my own work until last year, I think.
Okay.
Just because I couldn't really decide. I'm very indecisive like that. But I love like traditional outlines, and I mean, if I had the time, I would love to even get into tattooing, doing my art on other people.
So you could do tattoos too.
You know, once I learn, I will be about it.
And I feel like with you, you're like a go-getter. So it's like whatever you put your mind to, like you're going to do it regardless. So you're like, if I want to do tattoos, I'm going to do tattoos. If I'm that, I'm that. I mean, because why not, right? The sky's the limit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you shouldn't limit yourself.
You're a boss, so a boss does whatever a boss wants to do. And speaking about being a boss, I know you're a CEO of Girla World. Explain to us what's that all about.
Yeah, Girla, it's my baby. It's great. It's something that beyond how important it was for the community, it was like a big step for me, because before Girla, I hadn't really worked with any organization or been a part of anything. I just always did my own thing and then partner with people and stayed on the side. Because I'm very serious about my brand and my work. I want to be all in when I do something. So Damo, me and her didn't even know each other before Girla. Like, she hit me up about Girla, had me come to the first party and just put my art up. And I just liked, you know, what it stood for. I really didn't know what to expect. And I didn't think I would be a part of it. But we had a party at Diet Starts Monday, and the energy was just like something I'd never seen. And I've been in the like event scene in DC for a minute, especially because, you know, I was doing so many shows and stuff like that. And I'd never been anything like that. And it was like the energy of it just kept pushing me towards getting more involved. And then we all just became a family real quick. And
our relationship is really organic, and that's all in person. Like, y'all.
Yeah, those are my sisters. Yeah, and they're amazing. They inspire me. They push me. Like, I'm proud to know them. And Girla itself went from a party to this whole agency, you know, nothing that any of us expected, but it was perfect because we all came from different backgrounds, that we could put our talents together. And like, we'll have, you know, events that are all about music. We'll have events that are all about art. We'll go in and do panels and activism. And we've worked with organizations that people like us never had that opportunity. So we're able to open doors, create resources. And we're just always adapting. Like, we never have a limit of what we're willing to do. Whatever we feel like the community needs, we'll provide it. Yeah. And us starting out really showed us how much it was needed, because it's like, it makes sense now that we're here, but like, when you look back, nothing like that happened.
Yep. You create
an
avenue for Black women, for women in general, which is a good thing. Because I was talking to somebody recently, of course, when it comes to women's rights, you know, equalization of, you know, with sex, and, you know, the women being respected as the man, you know, I feel like recently is when everything with that became really more prominent. You know, this year I feel like it's really been prominent for women rights, Black rights, and everything. And like, what you created, like what's happening at this time and what you're doing is just a perfect time how it's happening. And it's just like, it's really evolving. And it's beautiful to see how something you started is evolving now. Because when you think about it, I tell people this, we always look for other people, like big companies. Man, why didn't I pick me? I need to do this and do that. But like you said, you create your own base, your own platform for you to grow artistically with different other entrepreneurs, other people who do things in entertainment, not just art, but music, you know, DJing and, you know, hosting and all that type of aspects, to give yourself recognition. So when the big people do want you, you have something that you can have the backup on. Like, okay, look, it's been, yes, it took them a long time to see what I do, but if you need something as a resume and show what I can do, here's Gerla, here's my resume, here's what I can do. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, I really just wanted something that was bigger than me. That's the point it was, even with my own work, you know, like, I'm not doing anything for fame, or I don't need it to be about me. I want to make change. And for me, art is the tool that I think it will change the world. So I put my energy into that, but I think it's important for us to bring the communities together, you know, and not just have these creative fields separated. So it just was time, and I knew that the cause was what I already stood for. Again, like, without thinking about it, my work stood for that. And it's just such an important cause. Like, even when I'm not doing anything in our events or whatever, I'm just happy to be supportive, you know, like, I really believe in what we do. And unfortunately, COVID, you know, kind of delayed some of the plans we had this year.
Ooh, child, who you telling? COVID is the tables, literally. I was like, damn, my career.
Yeah.
So you know what? We've been persevering. We've been staying consistent. I've been seeing all the stuff you've been doing. I'm sure you've been seeing what I've been doing as well. So it's good to see those who are really consistent, because I feel like this year really showed who the real grinders are.
Look, the truth came out.
Like I said, it shook the career. It shook the bookings.
It flipped you upside down and see what you made of.
I was like, Jesus, the money.
Because you got to stay ready, you know, like, it's about being adaptive. Like I said, I feel like I was already in that mental space before. So it wasn't too much of a, like, shocker, you know, but you just have to be able to move forward, because at any time, especially as a creative, we don't know what's going to happen with our careers. And that's why I'm so, you know, about doing so many different things. I want to be able to always help out and create work for myself too.
Yeah, definitely. And the next question I was going to ask, but I think you really answered it. I was going to say, for an artist who is right now in a funky headspace, or like in a lost headspace, and, you know, thinking right now, how am I going to survive off of this? What is some advice you can give them? But if you could answer that question, I think you really just did. But if there's any other advice you can give to an artist out there who is, you know, trying to get to that level that you're at, what's some advice you can give them?
Just work. Don't worry about who's seeing it. Don't worry about followers. Don't worry about likes, because it won't build anything. But if you do the work and you're consistent, and like you said, people see that and they will continue to support you because you stay down. Like, to me, somebody that impresses me is someone that I've seen hustling since no one cared what they were doing. And that's where success comes from, because social media is not even everything, you know, like, I know I cannot be on social media and still keep pushing, because you have to be bigger than that, you know, like, it needs to be like an outlet, and it's a great way to have a portfolio and to connect with people. And that's the great thing about when I started being an artist, was when social media allowed you to build yourself off. I didn't need to go through school. I didn't need to have an agent to get people to see my work, but you have to be true to yourself and you have to be consistent. And if you do that and stay open to things and be professional, opportunities come. There's no way that they couldn't. But if you aren't willing to struggle, like, I think the misconception is that people see, like, where I'm at maybe now and think it was easy. Like, I failed so many times. I'm still failing, thankfully, because you can't get comfortable. You know, like, if I could have got comfortable 3 years ago and I wouldn't be here now, because I know I always want more. When I know that, like, something doesn't work out, if I don't get an opportunity or I fail, I'm excited, because I know that means something better is coming. I'm going to grow from that situation. If all you're looking for is wins, then you don't really want that thing. You know, and a lot of it, like, starts with self-awareness. Beyond other people getting involved, if you don't have the foundation, you're going to fail, and it's not even because of your work. It's just because of where your mental space is. And that's why self-care is the biggest thing. Like, I'm all about self-care. Like, I always say, I treat myself like a star. Even when I wasn't nobody, I mean, to me, I'm still nobody, you know, like, I'm just trying to make it, but I care about myself. And I know if I take care of myself, the work is going to come out of that. Like, if I don't sleep, ain't no work coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that creative that's staying up all night saying no sleep. You know, no, I don't believe in that. You need to go to sleep for 10 hours. I need 10 hours of sleep. I need my water. Like, I'm vegan. I work out.
Come on now, TrapBob. Let's do a toast. Boom.
Yes, cheers.
Take a little sip. Oh, see, you got the creative fruits and vegetables and everything. That's why your skin glowing.
Just a little something.
I just got the nice little purified tap water. It's a little humble.
There you go.
You know, but it's 40 ounces.
Just small things.
But no, But yeah, no, that self-care, you hit that round the nail. Like, I'm even learning from this as well. Because, you know, sometimes as creators, we think we know, we don't have all the answers. And, you know, that's why it's good to have this platform to speak to other creators as well. Because I've learned from you and this your journey. And even learning in this interview today. I can't wait to repost this so everybody can watch this again.
Yes.
But my last two questions is, what else, what other hobbies do you have? What other hobbies do you have that we don't know about?
That's a funny question. I did not believe in hobbies before I got into art. Like, I didn't feel like I cared about anything enough to like spend extra time on it. And now that I've gotten into art, you know, it's like, it's not just work for me. It's like what I want to do all the time. But literally anything other than art would be, like I said, I work out a lot. I love like exercising, anything physical, like yoga, and probably just like being outside, hiking,
just connecting with Mother Nature.
Yeah, I love like doing things that are physical and social at the same time, like where I can get a benefit out of hanging out with friends at the same time. Definitely live music, concerts. Like, that's the painful part, to be honest. Like, that's the only thing that I really like. Everything else I've adapted, I can get over, but the live music thing, like, I was at a point, like, I used to intern at Fillmore. I did a lot of stuff with music early on in college. So I was at,
Fillmore, you were at every event.
Yeah,
it was crazy. At the station, I was at every event.
Yes,
Fillmore,
you see.
We met. We met at Howard Theater.
Yes, but same, you know, it was all the same. Like, I was at Howard Theater, Fillmore, 930 Club, U-Haul, all the time. It didn't even matter who was performing. I just like live music. Festivals, stuff like that.
I gotta go to, when everything opens up, I need to go to a festival or some live music with you. I feel like we'll vibe.
I'm gonna cry. Yeah, I'm gonna be in there crying because I miss live music so much. I need it. Yes. It's hard.
Right, my last question, because I'm not gonna take all your time up tonight. People sometimes don't like this question, but I just ask because you just never know. I like to manifest. What do you see yourself in the next 2 or 3 years? So when the world's open back up next year, hopefully, but the next 2 or 3 years, where do we see TrapBob? Where can we see? We're manifesting it right now. So when we look back, we heard it here first. What are we manifesting tonight?
Just bigger. I mean, I want to be bigger, like, within my own work. I haven't had a lot of time to make personal work because of freelancing. So I want to make time for that and do, like, you know, big paintings, more murals. And also just bigger in, like, property. You know, like, my dream is to have a gallery in the city.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Why not?
I don't see why not. Everything else worked out.
You need your own B&B, your own B.O.B. Come on.
Exactly. You know, I feel like everything that rejected me or gave me a hard time in the past, I'm gonna replace it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fight to get in there. I'd rather make my own because no one should have to go through that. So a lot of it is kind of like a response to experiences that I've had as an artist, and I want to cut that out, especially as a Black female artist, because the more I do, the more I realize people don't see many of us, so they don't know how to act, and it's a lot, you know. So I want to create a safe space for that that's also open to everybody, so we can come together and not feel alienated from different scenes. You know, like the gallery world and art in itself has a lot of corruption when the money comes into play. And I want that money to be in circulation with artists that are really doing what they're supposed to be doing and not just through connections and nepotism and things like that. So just having like a bigger platform and scale that I can do more for other people.
All right, y'all heard it here. So when I feel like it's gonna happen sooner than later, but when it happens, I'm gonna be like, remember we talked about it here?
Yes.
I see nothing but the best for you. I literally mean that from the bottom of my heart. Even from the first day I met you and saw your Instagram and just been seeing your growth. You've been growing. You've been doing amazing. You know that. You've been seeing the recognition. Stay humble because you are a really humble individual. Because you can really talk your ish, but you said you go ahead and put it in your work, what you've been doing.
Exactly.
The murals, we see the recognition. We see the digital artwork. We see it. And I just want to say we appreciate you and what you do here for the city. Someone at DMV doing great things. I want to thank you so much for being on, and we're going to keep in contact, okay?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Yes. You enjoy the rest of your night. Be safe.
Hopefully, you too.
The rest of these states turn blue, and we can have a new president in the White House, and you'll be paying the White House when he gets in there, okay? Come on.
It's time for a change.
Yes. We have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being on, okay?
All right, you too. Thanks, Kyle.
All right, bye.